beautiful day. Let's lighten this up a little bit. Today's Memorial Day, I believe. It's a holiday. At least I think it is. Sometimes I forget. Like I said, sometimes I get what we call alternative brain, where you just kind of you're getting out of the brain, and you forget the details of things sometimes. So there's a lot of days when I'm like, what day of the week is this? I'm not even sure. But luckily, hey, it's the digital age. I got a smartphone. I can just ask it. Siri or whatever you have, Cortana. What day is it? Oh. Yeah. That's the beauty of the future we're going to. Where you don't need the mind as much as you used to. The little things like that can be forgotten. It's not that important. If you're not so caught up into it, then it's not as real. In a way. You're just being. You're not so locked into time. That's kind of the beauty. There's multiple days I've sat out here and I'm like, oh, what time is it? Noon? I'll go in and it'll be like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I didn't even realize it. I'm like, wow, I've been out there that long? I have stuff I have to do today. I need to go to the grocery store. If you're worried about stuff like that, all I need to do is set a reminder, a timer on my phone. You know, that's what computers are for. They're in service to you. Technology will be a beautiful thing one day, as long as it's in service to the human, and not the human that's in service to technology. Same thing with the mind. The mind is a beautiful thing, as long as the mind is in service to you. The I exists, and you're not in service, enslaved. You know, what was that? What would that be? I'm trying to. I see this off brain again. I can't ever remember anything. Maybe it'll come to me later. Just laugh about it. It's not that important. But technology, the mind, everything's beautiful as long as it's in service. And it's in service as long as you're aware of it. You're making a conscious choice and not a mental choice. A mental choice, you're serving the mind. You're serving the computer. Conscious choice is a choice from the heart. You can feel into it and making a choice that brings you true passion. It's your true heart's desire. It's that eros, desire of the soul. That flaming passion. If you can even see the turning lead into gold is even in the Eros and Psyche story. That's the old alchemist thing, turning lead into gold. The great, that's the kind of the what they were after. It wasn't actually turning actual lead into gold. That was just that was put there for lower students, you could say, as something to occupy the mind for people who aren't ready to truly see yet. Then they would play with alchemy and chemicals, trying to turn lead and gold, till they realize, I'm not trying to turn lead and gold. I'm trying to turn the heart. Go from the mind, the mental, the common senses, the average senses, into something that's divine and precious and beautiful. But Eros and Psyche, the story of that, Cupid, which is the Roman name for Eros, Eros always carried 2 arrows, one of lead and one of gold. Lead was the arrow he used to make people fall out of love. But the gold arrow is what made you fall into love. In the story, Eros comes into a clearing where he sees Psyche sitting in the sunlight, beautiful, shining. He's so taken aback by the beauty of the soul. His true desire just flames up. He loses himself. He falls to his knees. He surrenders, in a way. Isn't that a symbolism of falling to one's knees is a symbol of surrendering? I would say it's allowing. The human gives up its fight, its battle, its conflict. And he falls to his knees, and what he's doing, he's holding in his hand one of his arrows. And as he falls to his knees, he scrapes the arrow on his knee, on his leg. The golden arrow of love, by accident. And that is how he falls in love. It was spontaneous. He didn't try to do it. That's kind of the moral of that story, in a way, or the parable. The wisdom in that story. You can't try and fall in love with the soul. It just happens. It just spontaneously happens. It just shows up. Many of you have had your awakening. That's how it happened, wasn't it? You weren't trying to have an awakening. It just happened. It's just like you felt something. Maybe you read it, so you started reading a book, or maybe you watched some YouTube videos, or maybe you just had a strange experience, a dream, a lucid dream, or you had something and it just popped. Oh, fuck. I'm spiritually awake now. I don't know what the fuck that means, but I am. You can't try and make it happen. Everybody just comes apart. You just, in your daily life, you kind of at some point come to the point where you just happen to see the soul. It just shows up. It's just a glimpse of it. It's so taken aback by it that you fall back and scrape yourself on that arrow. And that true love and that desire just starts to flame up. That seeking the soul, trying to find the soul, to please the soul. It's all you can think. It's all you can think about, in a way. It becomes your true heart's desire to reconnect, to come to that marriage of the soul and the human. Oh. So beautiful. But what I was going to talk about today, I never know what's going to come out. Just going with it. I just follow the soul. See what happens. Some days I'm more articulate about it. Some days it seems a bit more trying to find the word, but it's there. That's the point of these videos. It's really the reason I started making. The soul said, make these videos. I didn't understand why, but I understood that it was going to be a recording of a progression. So at some point you could watch all these videos and see my progression. From the very beginning, just see me walking into it. See me stumbling, see the wobbliness of things. You know, that's kind of uncomfortable for the human. The human kind of doesn't want to do this until it's perfected. But the soul says, no. It's just start doing it. Just be it. Walk into it. And allow the wobbliness. Allow that transformation to take place. Did you just say, has someone walking into their soul, walking into their I am, walking into their mastery ever been recorded? Been documented? No. Showing the progression of the Gnost, of the knowingnesses. How they start out kind of choppy and still going into the mind a bit. How it gets caught there and how there's this balancing that has to take place. It's a beautiful thing for someone to witness, so they understand, it's going to be a bit wobbly, going from the heart to the mind, the heart to the mind. At some point it finds a center, it finds an expression. Where it's balanced. It's a beautiful thing to be sharing, to just do. So I'm always interested where these videos are going to go, how they're going to play out. It's fun for the human to speculate. But the human, at some point, stops speculating. It's just kind of, as the mind gets quieter and quieter, the heart becomes, I don't want to say louder, but more potent, more present. Because the heart isn't, it's not loud. It's just there. It's just so there, more there than like the mind ever was. The mind was always loud and harsh and kind of, ugh. But there's a gentleness, a grace, a effortlessness that the heart has, a quietness, a calmingness. Yet at the same time, it is so present in its being. More present, more alive than the mind ever was. Oh, that is one of the beautiful experiences of it. There's been times where I'm like, I didn't know it was going to be this real, this visceral. And it surprised me. I won't go into details on those things. I don't want to ruin the surprises. Oh, beautiful surprises await around the corner, as they say. Oh. So, now that being said, the IM got some of the things it wanted to say that the human was unaware of it was going to talk about. Out of the way, now we're going to get to another point. Oh, a percentage point. 0.00035. 0.00035. That is the percentage of what the human senses sees of reality. You say if reality was 99%, it only sees 0.00035 percentage of that reality. And you can even break it down even more than that, because then you can say that's talking about physical reality. And as science says, this is 99.999% empty space. So it's less than 1% of this, of that less than 1%, you're only seeing 0.00035% of that. With your eyes, with your smells, with your hearing, with your taste, with your touch. That's all you're getting. That is such a small percentage. You know, you can, by things your mind, that's what the mind is editing out, even of just the physical reality, and not even what it's editing out of consciousness. You know, you could say part of that it would be annoying to see all that, because it'd be all the different light spectrums and things of that nature, which would, you know, make everything kind of muddy and blurry and complicated, more complicated than the mind already makes it. That's why you say the mind filters. The mind edits things out. And it brings everything into more of a cohesiveness, a livable reality where it can at least process and understand. Doesn't mean the mind isn't picking up a lot of that other information. It just doesn't give it to you. It's there. You know, the rest of that physical reality, but it doesn't understand that 99.999% of what consciousness is. It can never understand that. It has to edit that out, because consciousness, one of the names for consciousness in the olden days, as I'm saying, like in ancient Greece and even from Egypt, but it would have been the word chaos. In the beginning there was chaos. Chaos, if you look at the definition, like Greek definitions of chaos, it's going to be something like the unknowable, a great chasm, darkness, void, things relating to things of that nature. It's usually chaos is the unknowable. It's the unpredictable, the non-linear. If any of you are old enough to know, like you ever watched TV that had before HD TVs, you had the old antenna TVs, and they had static screens on them in between channels. It's like trying to predict where the static is going to move. It's just random. It's like me grabbing a handful of toothpicks and throwing them all up in the air and trying to predict where every one of them is going to fall. You can't. There's too many variables. The mind doesn't understand that. So it is the unknowable. It is the unpredictable. Chaos. Ah, I know that some people don't want to call it that because it seems, I don't know, they have bad mental ideas of what the word chaos means. But it's so elegant, so beautiful, that the mind just can't understand it. It's so multidimensional. It's happening on so many levels within itself. So many realities existing simultaneously and speaking to each other. That it appears to the mind, to the linear mind, the mind that can only see in a straight line, like it's chaos. It's not chaos. It's beauty. It's freedom. It's expansionness. It doesn't follow the same path. That's kind of the beauty of where you're going to. You're never going to follow the same path. You're going to find if you try to follow the same path in your life, it won't work. Because consciousness loves new experiences, discovering stuff in new ways. It doesn't like to go down the same path every day. It wants to take new paths. Like a little bird, it may fly to the left today. Tomorrow it might go to the right. It doesn't worry about roads or stop signs or lights or grid patterns or anything of that nature. It's free to go wherever it wants. If it feels like flying up, then flying down, then flying to the left, it does it. Tomorrow, if it just feels like flying to the right, then down, then up, and back around in the circle again, it'll do that. It doesn't have to be linear. It's freedom. That's freedom. That's the beauty of freedom. Not repeating the same thing over and over again. Not lost in gravitational cycles that you call karma, which are creations. They're not real. They're made up. They're experiences. You can let them go at any time. Karma is nonsense. It's only real as long as you want it to be real. As soon as you're done with it, you say, I let go of it. And you walk out of it. And you allow the experience to come to you. You allow the blossoming flower to unfold of the experience of coming out of karma. But this moment you said there was no karma, there isn't any. That's kind of the secret of things. Because the future is already there. As soon as you say that, as soon as you just walk into that, it attracts it to you. The experience of it. Yes, at the time it doesn't feel like you've done it because you're going through the experience of it. It takes time. It takes that experience. That experience brings revelations, realizations, openingness. You have that full, beautiful human experience of coming out of karma. But the truth of the matter is, the moment you said there was no more karma, it ended. It was just an echo after that. That's kind of the beauty of things. The simplicity of things. Same thing with your past. As soon as you say, it's not mine anymore. I have the memories of it. I understand it happened to the human. The human feels this way about it, but it's not mine anymore. I let go of it. And it let that gravity just goes away. It doesn't mean you can't feel back into it and remember it or anything like that. But when you do, you'll usually go back into a higher consciousness, I guess you could say, a higher view on things. You'll see a multi-dimensional version of it, where you saw why you created that, why it happened. And a lot of times, I thought it needed to be. I believed in this thing called karma. I believed in this thing that they had to be played out. It was such nonsense, silliness. Oh, well, now I realize that I don't have to do it anymore. It changes. The past loosens up. The future loosens up. It's... The heart is attracted to itself. Energy and consciousness are attracted to each other. Like they're gravity. You can say if consciousness is like in its expansion, in its movement, in its passive movement, in this expansion. It's not a physical expansion. I want to say that when I'm talking about energy, gravity, light. I don't mean like sunlight or light bulbs or physical gravity. I'll say it again. Those are kind of reflections of the real of the real thing, brought into like physical manifestations so they can be experienced. But it's different. It's happening in this nebulous ether, non-physical, non-linear. There's no words for it really, at least not that I know of yet. In this, I think Thera, this timelessness. There's no space in it. It's something. It's difficult to talk about. You can feel into it. You can know it by that, but words that's why words are but half-truths. They can never truly express the I exist. It is the unknowable. It is chaos. Words are too linear. You can only know it by experiencing it. And you experience it through the physical body, through energy, through gravity. That's why I say energy is just communication. Creating this energy, this gravity, this communication with yourself so you can experience yourself. Oh. And it's just so beautiful. Just so damn beautiful. But there's an attraction that you have. There's the desire. We'll go back to Eros, desire of the soul. You can put the story of Eros and Psyche is the story of the desire of the soul. Who are you? You are the soul, and you are the desire. That is a true emotion of the I exist, desire. There's mental desires as well. There's mental, that's usually the carrot. I'll be happy if I get this kind of thing. But the desire of the soul it's passionate. It's so passionate. It's so, it just wants to experience itself. And it attracts that experience to itself. And that through being a human being, your heart is always attracting that experience to you. That experience of knowing thyself. That experience of being with yourself. Of discovering yourself. Of awakening. It's a fire within that just burns. A luminous fire of desire that attracts energy to bring that experience. And that has always happened. From the moment you were born on this planet, that has happened. But the thing is, you go out of the heart and you go into the mind. You're not listening to the heart. You're not following the heart. You're not following its desire of experience, and you get locked in the mental mind. And you get all structured and gridded and conformed. You start to conform to everything. You start to make up morals and philosophies and religions, which are all just mental crap. Even spirituality is mental. It is of the mind. It is not of the heart. Now, I would say spirituality is more of the heart than, say, something like religion is, or even philosophy. Philosophy can be more loose, more freedom, but it still has structure to it. So it's still mental. It still puts you in a box. So you just let go of philosophy. You let go of morality, the 10 Commandments of rules and laws. The heart is compassion. It's acceptance. It's gratitude. It is joy. If you're in that, you don't need morals. The heart doesn't have hate. It doesn't have fear. These are all mental things that that's all philosophy is trying to fix, is the mental problem. Same thing with religion. It's trying to fix the mental problem. The problem with the mind. But the simple solution is just to get out of the mind. They went to the heart, and the heart says, okay, this is causing trouble. They took the heart message and they took it into the mind. Because they're so stuck in it. They can't get past it. This is why religions become what they are. This is why secret societies finally said, we can't talk about this stuff anymore, because every time we talk about it, people take this beautiful light, this flaming passion, this desire to know thyself. They take it into the mind. They create religions, practices, philosophies, rules and regulations and control, and they start manipulating each other, and then they start fighting over who's right and who's wrong and all this other nonsensical bullshit. So yes, there was a reason why in the West we said, fuck it. They're still children. We're keeping it secret until they're ready. Because you needed to have it, because a lot of these, what you call secret societies that people are scared of, a lot of them are just energy holders. That's all they're doing. Their whole jobs, their whole lifetime missions, as you call them, their incarnations, is to hold the information, hold that light until the planet's ready for it. That's it. That's what they're doing. Now there'll be those who kind of get that stuff and misuse it, but that happens too. Not as much as you think it does. But like I said, there's a tendency for some younger children, as you can say, those who are yet to mature, when they get information, to misuse it. But they're just children. They don't really know what they're doing. They're innocent. They mean no harm from a I am level. It's just they got caught in the mind. They got a little mental. They're a bit annoying. Give them a timeout, send them to bed without any supper, and go on with your day. But they're still, remember also, they're coming from the mind, so they don't really they believe in things like power and control, which are just illusions, which is just more structure, more gravity, that's going to pull them into karma, into life lessons, until lessons are only there until you realize there are no lessons. There's nothing to learn. So all energy will resolve itself eventually. The only thing you could do that'd be stupid is to go and try to fight them or work against them or try to warn and save the world from them, because you know what that's going to create? More gravity for you. More fucking bullshit, more crap, more karma. More duality. All that bullshit. Just let it go. It's not yours. Energy will take care of itself. Everything follows consciousness, so if you raise your consciousness, allow others to raise theirs. By raising their consciousness, I mean just allowing more of themselves to be in this reality. Letting more of their awareness be here. The reality has to reflect that back. Because it has to reflect what you're radiating. If you just go into power, control, manipulation, go in the mind, you're just going to get more gravity, more darkness, more suffering. So let them have their crap, let them play with it. It's not yours unless you choose it to be yours. And most of the time it's all mental anyways. It's not really happening. A lot of the times it's just people think it's happening. So it doesn't really matter if it's happening or not. Just get the fuck out of it. No one can control you unless you want them to control you. There are no victims on this planet. Not a single one. I know there'll be these people who want to get all mental and argue with me on that point, but there isn't. Nothing is in your reality, in your creation, in your experience, unless you want it to be there. The question I have for you is, why do you want that there? Why are you playing with that? Why won't you just let it go? Walk away from it. Move away. Leave that bad relationship. Quit that job. If it's killing you, if it's, not literally killing you, it could be that, but if it's draining you of energy, if it's just not passionate, if it has no sensuality in it, then walk the fuck away from it. Now, if you have a belief system that is, you need it, I still have a job I go to. I need to pay rent. I need to pay bills. I have a job. But I have that, but also it's kind of just there. I don't put a lot of energy into it. I don't hold gravity into it. I don't. Yeah, it's just something at the moment that I need to eat, to feed my cats, and it will be there as long as it serves me. So I just do my thing. I come out here, I sit on my porch. I don't get lost in that. You let it go. You just kind of keep it at arm's length away, in a way. You just kind of, no, this is me. This is my personal space. You're over there. Don't take it home with you, is what I'm trying to say. Don't take on, because I could be at work. Other people are stressed out. I'm like, I kind of just laugh to myself about it. I don't take it on. I don't get caught up in the dramas of things. I don't go around trying to fix people or solve their problems for them. First off, they never asked. It came up the other day, we were talking about it, and I told people, I said, well, I guess I meditate. And they looked at me like, you meditate? I was like, well, not really meditation, but it's too complicated. I don't really want to go into it. I've never talked about that at work. I don't talk about things like that. I don't go around to my boss and say, I need a raise because I'm an enlightened master. Sure, I have no fucking clue. Leave it be. Milk for children, meat for strong men or women. They want milk. They don't really want it. Yeah, I remember someone asked me, "Oh, so you meditate? Why do you do that? What does that mean?" And it's like, I finally just said, "Here, if you want to know about it, I'll tell you all about it. But ask me later today." You know what? Never asked me about it. Didn't really want to know about it. Because I knew he didn't want to know about it. He was just being mentally curious, but he wasn't really heart curious. You can feel the energy. I'm like, I don't want to go into the spiel of all this crap. It's complicated if you take it into the mind. So trying to explain spirituality or the I exist or anything that to somebody who is very mental is very difficult. Because with you, I would tell you, just feel into it. I know you can do it. Some of you don't believe you can, but I know you can. You're a soul being. You are consciousness. You have all the senses of consciousness. They're just there. Explore it. Feel into things. Take a deep breath every once in a while and feel into the space in between. This matter, this physicalness. Feel that communication, that energy and consciousness is having. That experience, the wisdom that consciousness is realizing through its experience. The joy, the passion of the consciousness that's just excited and true compassion and acceptance about just being. These are all beautiful things. But to go to talk to someone like that who's so stuck into the mind, they have too many fucking questions. You probably have a lot of questions because you're still in the mind as well. That's why, a lot of times questions just lead to more questions. Question after question after question after question. They're trying to figure something out, trying to structure it into their mind so they can have a mental picture of things. It won't get you anywhere. It really doesn't. To a point, it's okay. Because information is helpful in a way that it calms the mind down. You just give it just enough information so it feels safe, so it can kind of relax. It can let its guard down a bit and allow the heart to come in. But you don't want to give it too information where it gets all stuck in the gravity of it and it just gets all in a mass clump and you just end up getting nowhere. There's been brilliant spiritual teachers who had crappy lives. Look at someone like Alan Watts. Alan Watts, a beautiful soul being. Beautiful being. Elegant speaker. Mentally a genius. A prodigy. Child prodigy. Beautiful man. But where did it get him? Did he become enlightened in his lifetime? No, he did not. He died an alcoholic and broke, doing speeches he didn't want to do, but he had to do them to pay his alimony or whatever it was he was paying back. That is what the mind leads you to, if you just get stuck in the mind. not saying that Alan Watts didn't do beautiful things for this planet. He was a beautiful being. And he came with you could say that's where you still have a mission. And Enlightened Master doesn't have a mission. Missions go away. Missions are for children. I don't. You're like Alan Watts. He was so brilliant. Yeah, intelligence isn't nothing. Intelligence doesn't get you anywhere. Now he did help. He was able to take the Eastern and Western ideals, bring them together in a way that a lot of people could understand it. They kind of quieted their minds enough so they could feel into it with their hearts. Because, a lot of times if it seems complicated, that's where the mind gets stuck. It gets stuck in the complications of things. It tries to figure everything out. So if you can simplify it, it's kind of like this. It's kind of like that. Just feel into it with your heart. You can say the real teaching of Alan Watts is not his words. The words are nonsense. They're that that less than 1% of what's there. That 99.9% that's there is the stuff in between. All the words. There's so much consciousness, so much illumination, so much passion that is behind the words. So much wisdom. For those who can filter the words out, can filter out the mental structure and feel behind it, that's where the true wisdom lies. If you're looking at the half-truths, the words, because words, like I say, are just half-truth. They're about this true. They're very little truth, very little conscious in the words, but behind that, there is so much more. There's a holographic, of wisdom, of the library of wisdom, just in between all the words. So even right here, there's two teachings that are going on. There's me blabbering on, like blah, 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 distracting you, saying, look here, watch my hand, why the real magic is actually happening behind the scenes. It's going to be funny, one day you'll see behind the curtain, as they say, and you'll see, oh shit, what he was saying wasn't that important. It really wasn't. There's a radiance that's happening. That's behind all the word. There's a consciousness that's happening. And that is really what I'm receiving. I'm unaware of it at the moment, but it's coming in. Oh, that's the beauty of things. What you don't see at the moment. Oh. And one day you're going to be like, hit yourself in the head and go, how did I not see that? It was right there the entire time. There was a whole nother teaching, a whole nother experience going on that I was just completely unaware of. His blabbering words and, what he said about anything didn't really fucking matter that much. I was just getting so mental about it, trying to figure out what he was talking about, and not actually looking beyond that and feeling into it, taking a deep breath, and just opening myself up to it. Allowing that true light, that true communication to happen. Not telepathic or anything of that nature, it's just light to light. Consciousness to consciousness. The unspoken, the truth. The only way to truly speak to someone else in a truthful and honest way is to be conscious, is to speak from the heart, not from the mind, not from the vocal cords. It's been a while since I've done a really rambling video. This one's been really rambling. I kind of enjoyed it. Just going all over the place. Going from one path to another. Not very much structure in it. Did we start at the end and get to the beginning? Or did we start in the middle, go to the beginning, then go to the end, then back to the middle again? Or something of that nature? I guess creation happens in all directions. At all times. I wish you all a beautiful, wondrous Memorial Day. If you're watching this later, just have a beautiful day. I know I will.